All right. Navigating finances after divorce can be overwhelming. Whether we're talking about the expenses of the divorce itself, like your legal fees, moving expenses, relocation expenses, new childcare expenses you didn't have before, child support, alimony. Woo! All the above, friends, all the above. Plus, you may also be feeling the pinch of transitioning to a single income. Yes, and yes. That's what we're going to talk about today. 10 essential steps to rebuild your finances after divorce. And y'all, when I tell you I know, I know. So let's get into it. Okay. 10 things. Number one, be for real. Get real about your situation. Do not bury your head in the sand. Like it's not going to poof be gone. Okay? Just you got to deal with it. Open your bills. Lay it all out. See what the situation is. Listen, I know you rather it not be this way, but it is, friend. It is. And so it won't always be like this, but we have to have a strategy and a plan to overcome it. Okay. And plus, fear just enhances anxiety. If you're afraid to open the bills, you have less and less control over your situation. Okay. And guess what else? Now y'all know that Second Timothy. Well, maybe you don't know, but Second Timothy 1:7 says God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. So that fear is not of Him. And then two, like I said, fear just increases the anxiety, and we know also, or you're gonna know now, that Philippians 4:6 says, be anxious for nothing. Don't be anxious about anything. I know that's easier said than done, friend. But if the word says it, it's true and it's possible for you and me. So Philippians 4:6 says, do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication, let your requests be made known to God. With thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. So he tells us not to be fearful, not to be anxious. So look at that thing. Okay. So once you lay out your debts and once you evaluate and tally up what is coming in, that leads us to step two. Step two is establish a new budget. Okay. Now, if you like me, you may have had no budget. Okay. I was never good at that discipline of like having a monthly budget, sticking to the monthly budget was not my strong point. Okay. Let me tell you something. I was used to the finances coming in and it was there. So I wasn't checking that. But let me tell you, when that thing shifted during and after my divorce, oh, Jesus on the main line. Yes, Lord. Pain and pain, I tell you. So that budget is not a bad word. Budget is not a bad word. It actually helps us to reduce our anxiety and fear because then we know what we're working with. Okay. So, in establishing a new budget with knowledge of your current situation that helps you to guide this process. Now, your feelings probably gonna be hurt when you first write that thing out. I'm gonna tell you. I'm telling you, your feelings might be hurt. Okay, when you look at what you owe and what your monthly expenses are versus what is coming in, that can be something, friend. It can. But you got to look now. If you don't know what it's looking like, you cannot develop your plan. Okay. So write out that new budget. Okay. Now I go by the 70-30 rule. 70% of my income is what we live on. 10% is for tithing, 10% is for saving, and then 10% for investing. Now, that investing situation may not be where we're starting. Okay. So that extra 10% may be what you roll into the debt repayment plan. Okay. And there are so many good tools for establishing your budget. I love the Budget Nista, Tiffany Eliche, budgetnista.com, which I will link for you in the description below, provides some wonderful free resources to get that thing back in order. And also Financial Peace University. You probably know of Dave Ramsey's program. They provide some excellent resources if you've never done it before, or if you got to revisit that, okay, so that you can have a plan. Number three is to reevaluate your financial goals, because you and your spouse probably had a whole lot of great plans, but now that is no more. So, what is your financial plan? What are your goals? Short term, if you don't have an emergency fund, work on building an emergency fund at a minimum of $1,000. Just so, because stuff happens, we know that is this life. So you want to have $1,000 of an emergency fund set up in case of emergencies. And that can be gradually increased as allowed. And then long term, have a long term. What are your long term goals? You want to buy a new house? Would you like to start saving for retirement if you haven't? College funds. So many things, right? But these are long term goals that we need to be tracking and planning for. Number four, a debt management plan. All right. Now, we already talked about laying that thing out. Okay. So now, when you really get into that, list everybody you owe. How much do you owe? What is the percentage on that debt? What is your minimum? And then determine how you want to pay that back. Now, there are two like really popular methods for that, right? The snowball method is where you start with the smallest and you feel good about that, right? And then you roll over that amount once that's paid off to the next debt and the next and the next. And so you snowball, you gradually build up to paying off. The avalanche method, if you like, I want the greatest impact out the gate, then you tackle the greatest debt, or the debt with the greatest interest rate first, and then it trickles down to the smallest. So whatever makes you feel best, of whatever your personality demands, is a debt management plan that works for you. Okay, so number four is the debt management plan. Number five, rebuild your credit. If that thing took a hit from your divorce, yes and yes, you got to rebuild that. So the first step in that is pulling your credit report. And now the freeannualreport.com, you can get your report annually for free, and it lists all three credit bureaus, and you need to look at that thing. There are often errors on your credit report that you are not aware of. Y'all, I had somebody else's student loan on my credit report now. So pull your credit report, check that thing, make sure there are no errors on it, but that also gives you a very clear picture of your financial situation so you can know what you're working with. Okay. And then number six, increase your income, because once you do your budget, you will see which camp you're in. If you are in the camp that spends too much or doesn't make enough. So if you need to make more, either to be able to fast track your savings or fast track your debt management, increase your income. I am the side hustle queen. I love a side hustle. Okay. Get a side hustle. If you don't want a second job, then learn a new skill to add value at your current job so you can get that raise. Okay. And then also, you bring stuff around here, right? Sell some stuff. Ain't no shame. Okay. Tiffany Eliche, again, the Budgetnista, says shame shields solutions. So ain't no shame in your game. Do what you got to do to get out of this temporary situation, which is the financial struggle after divorce. Okay. Number 6, increase your income. Number 7, secure your assets. Oh, I think you probably talked to some people that has some stuff happening, right? After your divorce, close those joint accounts with your ex-spouse. Okay. Don't get your feelings hurt having stuff gone. Okay. Establish new bank accounts that are only in your name. Okay. Also, you need new life insurance policies, auto insurance policies, renters or homeowners insurance policies solely in your name. Also, check the beneficiaries that you have named on your life insurance and on your will. Yes, you may like your ex spouse enough to leave them on your life insurance and wills as the primary beneficiary. But let me tell you, that speaks for itself. Okay. Check your stuff and make sure your documents are updated and your assets are protected. Okay. Next, number 8, evaluate your tax situation. If you are filing taxes before your divorce is final, how are you filing? Talk to your tax preparer. Are you filing married, filing joint? What's happening with the interest payments or the interest that you've paid on the marital home? What about your sweet ones? You call your baby sweet ones? I do. What about your children? Who's claiming them on the taxes? Your tax situation is something important to evaluate after your divorce. And then number 9, find support. Read some good books, okay? Tiffany Aliche, the Budgetnista, again, y'all see, I love her. Her book, Get Good with Money, is a wonderful, wonderful resource. Also, Dave Ramsey's books, you can look at his list of books on finance, personal finance, and rebuilding or building wealth. I love too The Richest Man in Babylon. That gives some key financial principles, but it's in a story form. So you can take away from that as well. And then you also can create an accountability group amongst your friends or your family. Everybody's trying to get right financially. Okay. So get some other like minded folks together and hold each other accountable to build and rebuild. And also, hey, drop me a comment in this message. You have questions, concerns. If I can help, I'm happy to do so. Okay. I am no expert, but I'm working this thing out and we can work that out together. So find support. And last but not least, be consistent. Okay. That right there can make or break. Consistency is key in tracking your progress and rebuilding after divorce, whether you are somebody who needs to write it down in a notebook or whether you maintain it in a spreadsheet. You have to have a plan, follow it, track it to achieve success as you rebuild financially after divorce. It is possible. We can get it done, friends. Like, comment, share this message with someone else who may be blessed by it. Subscribe. Join me in these conversations, and we will talk again soon, friends. Bye for now.